Okay, so this video we're looking at calculating the area of a triangle, or using the area of a triangle using sine, which is a grade 7 topic. So let's get straight into it. Right, we already know how to get the area of a right angle triangle all the way back to our grade 2 stuff. So if I gave you a triangle with a right angle like this, hopefully we know that the area of that's going to be half times the base times the height, and we can use that because we've got a right angle here. So for example, if we're given these two triangles here, because they both have a right angle, we've got a right angle here with the vertical height 4 and the height of it, which is 6, we can just go and use the formula. So the first one's going to be area A is going to be half times the base, which is 7, times the height, which is 4. Well, 7 times 4 is 28. Half of 28 is equal to 14. So 14 cm squared for the first one. And similarly here, even though this triangle looks a bit more unusual, well, not unusual, but the right angle is hard to see because you've got the vertical height with the base, but we can still use this because we've got the right angle here. Okay, and that's going to be half times your base, which is 4, times the vertical height, which is 6. 4 times 6 is 24. Half of 24 is equal to 12, so 12 cm squared. So hopefully that's just, a really quick recap. We can identify whether we're using normal right angle area of a triangle, or if we're using the sine rule to get the area of a non-right angle triangle, and that's really important. So we can use area using sine for non-right angle triangles like this here. Okay, so here there is no right angle, and the area of this is half times AB times sine of the angle C. So basically, this is how you label your triangle up. C is the angle that you're given, and you need the two corresponding, or the two sides next to the angle. Okay, so this side here would be side lowercase c. We don't need that one. Okay, we just need the two sides next to it, A and B, with the angle in the middle. Okay, so we're going to do this one here as the first example. Well, the area, I'm going to see A is equal to a half, so 1 over 2. And first thing to do, really, really important, I should have gone straight into that. You need to label up your triangle. Okay, so let's go and do that, where the angle here, 34 degrees, is your capital C, like up here. And then these two sides here, they can be A and B in either order. It doesn't actually matter, but let's go for A and B like that. And then we can continue. So we've got half times A, and the value of A is equal to 4, times the value of B, which is 5, times sine of the angle C. Well, capital C is the angle there, which is 34. And then you just type that into your calculator, okay, and then you will get your answer. So that's going to be 0.5 times 4 times 5 is 20, times sine of the angle 34, making sure our calculator is in degrees. And we should get 5 I'm going to round it to 1 decimal place, so 5.6, and area is going to be cm squared to 1 decimal place. Okay, and that is it. It's just a case of labeling your triangle up and then putting values into the formula. So we'll go through another my turn, your turn, and then we'll look at another my turn, your turn, but a slightly different case. But this one here again, very similar to the previous one. It says calculate the area of this triangle. We'll begin again by labeling up your triangle. Okay, we've been given, and it's got to be really important, this triangle here must be in the same format as the way that we label our triangle, like over here, which it is. Okay, I've got my angle here, which is going to be capital C, and I've got my two sides A and B in either order. And then I put it into my formula. So area, A, is equal to a half times A, or A is 9. 9 times B, which is 12. Sine of the angle C, which is 33. So step 1, label your triangle, and then you plug it into your formula. Okay, and you go and type this in your calculator, doing it carefully, and we get 0.5 times 9 times 12 times sine 33. And you should get 29.4 to 1 decimal place cm squared, and that's to 1 decimal place. Okay, so that's good. That is your answer with that one there. So you can pause the video, you can give this one here a go yourself, and then you can fast forward and we'll go from there. So let's begin with this one here. Right, calculate the area of the triangle here. Well, again, first begin by labeling up your triangle. So the angle here is going to be your capital C, and check, have I been given the two sides next to the angle? Well, I have. Yeah, that's good. And that's going to be side A, that's going to be side B. Well, they could be in either order, A and B, doesn't matter. Is it in the same unit? Yes, it is. That is good. Okay, and now I just whack it into my formula, which again is A is equal to a half times A. A is 2.5, so 2.5, times B. B is 1.3. Sine of the angle C, which is equal to 98 degrees. Okay, and then plug that into my calculator. So 0.5 times 2.5 times 1.3 times sine of the angle 98, and you should get 1.6 to 1 decimal place, so 1.6 cm squared to 1 decimal place. And if you got that, that's good. Okay, that is it, right, for the basics really of the area using sine. Okay, so what I've got now is I've got two more questions here that are slightly different, because this time on the first one they give you the area and you want to find the missing side length here, which is x. And the second, or the your term, they give you the area, but they want you to find the missing angle this time. So it's just a case of, using the formula still, but just rearranging a little bit at the end. Okay, but as always, with a trigonometry problem, you've got to label up your triangle. So we've got our angle, again, which is capital C, and your two sides can be A and B in either order. It doesn't matter which way you go. And then we plug it into the formula, and this time I'm going to write it out, because it's probably going to make things a bit clearer. So area is half A times B times sine of the angle C. Well, this time your area A is equal to 32, so 32 is equal to a half times, or A is equal to 7. I'm just substituting my values. B is equal to x, so I'll go and write in x in a bracket, and then sine of the angle C, well, C is equal to 71. So I've got 32 still over here is equal to, and then right, I've got a half times 7 times x times sine 71. Go and multiply now. Go and times the half with the 7 with the sine 71. Okay, and we can go from there. Let's go and do that. So write in a half times 7 times sine 71, and you should get, and don't round too early here, we should get 3.309. That's going to be enough. Put 3 just for extra case. So that is all the blue bit. Right, I've just written it in my calculator, and I've got and it's still being multiplied by the x. Okay, well, to find x now, I've got 3.3093 times by x. I'm going to go and divide both sides by 3.3093, solving an equation. To find x, 3.3093. And then these two here are going to cancel. So I can go and say that now I've just got x on its own, which is good. So x is going to be equal to whatever 32 divided by 3.3093 is, which is roughly 9.7. And it's a length, so it's just going to be centimeters, and that is to 1 decimal place. Okay, and I can highlight my answer. There we go. Okay, good. Right, the your turn is similar in the sense that you've got to use the formula, but you've just got to rearrange a little bit at the end. Okay, but let's begin again by writing down or labeling up our triangle. So we've been given the angle x there is going to be capital C. Your two sides are going to be A and B in either order. So good, my triangle is labelled up, and my formula, again, is area is equal to half AB sine of the angle C, and then I substitute. So the value of A is equal to 300. So 300 is equal to a half. A is equal to 20. So use brackets, substituting 20 times the value of B, which is 35. And then sine of the angle C. Well, the angle C is x, so I've got a sine of the angle x. Okay, so I've got 300 on my left-hand side of the equals, and I type in on my calculator. Let's go and type in a half times 20 times 35, because that's what that means. We're just timesing it all together. And that's equal to a half times 20 is 10. 10 times 35 is equal to 350. So this bit is going to go to 350, okay, which is that blue bit. Let's make it really clear, hopefully. So this blue bit is the same as that. I've just written it together. And that is being times by sine of the angle x. Well, I'm trying to find the value of x, okay? I've got 350 times sine of the angle x. Well, let's begin by dividing through by 350, okay, to get rid of that 350 on that side. So then these two here are going to cancel, which is good. And I can go and say that 300 over 350, which I can simplify as 6 over 7 by putting it into my calculator. So 6 over 7 is equal to sine of the angle x, because the 350s have now gone. I'm going to write this the other way around, which is absolutely fine. I'm going to go and say that sine x is equal to 6 over 7, just because they mean exactly the same thing. It's nicer, more conventional to have the x part on the left-hand side. Right, how do I go and find x now? Well, I've got to take the sine inverse of both sides. So I go and do the sine inverse of 6 over 7, and then whack that in my calculator. Okay, so type in sine inverse 6 over 7, which is equal to roughly 59 degrees to the nearest degree. Okay, you might have rounded differently. I didn't specify what I wanted to round to, but that is your answer to the nearest degree. If you got 58.997, that is absolutely correct. I've just rounded to the nearest degree. Okay, and that is it. That is area of a triangle using sine. Thank you.